Are the Giants and Saquon Barkley getting closer on a long-term contract extension? We're going to break down the latest news and rumors surrounding the Giants and Saquon Barkley in today's show. You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We'll talk about Barkley to start today's show off. And then at the tail end of today's video, we're going to break down the idea that Bleacher Report put out there about New York trading Leonard Williams. I don't think the Giants should do it. There are some valid reasons as to why Joe Schoen could explore that idea. I'll give you my thoughts coming up around the corner. But before we get to Barkley, I got to let you guys know, here at Chat Sports, we have multiple NFL channels. We obviously have our Giants channel and Eagles Now and the Cowboys Report. Eagles Now hosted by Chase Sr., the Dallas Cowboys Report hosted by Tom Downey. And they said we are going to be doing a subscriber battle for the month of July. And they sprung this on me today, so they got a 2-day head start. And unfortunately, because of that, we are in last place. But Giants fans, you're the best in the world, and I know you're going to have my back. Whether you want free Giants videos every day on YouTube, or you just hate the Eagles and the Cowboys and want to beat them in any type of competition, hit that big red button and subscribe to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. This is what Jeremy Fowler of ESPN said. He went on to SportsCenter, talked about the latest Barkley rumors, and said this. He said, I just checked in on this, and I was told there's no hard and fast update right now, but there is at least some level of optimism that these sides can come to an agreement at some point. And at some point has to be pretty dang soon, because we are 2 weeks away. We are 14 days away from the franchise tag contract extension deadline. Of the players that had the franchise tag placed on them earlier in the NFL offseason, teams will only have until July 17th at 4 p.m. to get a deal done. If a long-term deal does not get done with Barkley or all of the other franchise players that got tagged, you're going to have to play on a one-year deal, and you can't renegotiate to a longer-term deal until the last game of the regular season. So if Barkley and the Giants don't get a long-term deal done by July 7th at 4 p.m. or 4:01, Barkley's going to be playing on the franchise tag, or maybe he might sit out the whole season. As he said, he could use that, but I don't see that as a possibility. There is no way Saquon Barkley, a running back in the prime of his career, is going to give up a prime year of his career as well as $10.1 million guaranteed. He ain't passing that money up. Fowler also said this on ESPN, that the Giants and Saquon have been talking throughout the offseason. Giants ownership values Barkley. He's considered a centerpiece type of player for them. But Barkley wants a stronger contract structure. Most likely, stronger guarantees in how that contract is structured. So, the Giants have to find a sweet spot there. And it's all going to be about the guaranteed money. And with Fowler saying that about Giants ownership, does that mean John Mara could step in and force things to get done? We know Mara loves Saquon Barkley. We know Mara loved Daniel Jones, and there was reports and rumors that maybe John Mara pushed along that Daniel Jones deal. Could he step in this Saquon Barkley situation and up the guaranteed money, which makes the contract more appealing to Barkley so he could accept that deal? Because that's what it seems like is the sticking point at this juncture of these extension talks. The Giants have offered multiple contract extensions. What does that tell me? The Giants want him back. Barkley has said he wants to be a Giant, he wants to only be a Giant, and he wants to retire a New York Giant. So Party A wants Party B, and Party B wants Party A. I think it's going to get done at some point. I think a long-term deal does get done with the New York Giants. And John Mara may be the last play that Saquon Barkley has up his sleeve to get a long-term deal done. If Mara goes to Shane or Dable or anyone in the front office and says, we got to get it done, fellas. At this point, we need to get it done. We need Saquon Barkley to be back, because he was kind of the Giants' entire offense this past season. I mean, when you look at what he did on the gridiron for Big Blue, there was a point in the season where he was a top MVP candidate. And although he was not as productive in the last 9 games as the first 9 games, we've showed those stats on screen before on this channel, that could easily be because the Giants became more of a passing team and other teams made stopping Barkley more of a focus. But at the end of the day, the guy had 295 carries and 57 receptions. Almost 3 160 touches for Saquon Barkley this past year. That's not replaceable. And the Giants, Joe Shane, Brian Dable, and as well as Mike Kafka and John Mara and Steve Tisch know that the Giants can't replace the production that Barkley put on the football field for the Giants this past year. But it comes down to dollars and cents. It matters how much the Giants are willing to offer Saquon Barkley. Right now, with that franchise tag, he, Josh Jacobs, and Tony Pollard are all tied as the 8th highest paid running back in the National Football League based on average annual value at $10.1 million. But it's not always dependent. And honestly, I think in this case, it's not about the average annual value for Saquon Barkley because there was rumors that he turned down a $12 million deal, a $13 million deal, and even a $14 million deal. So that tells you it's not about the AAV, the average annual value. It comes down to guaranteed money. How big of a bag is Barkley going to be guaranteed in getting if he does sign that deal? Well, here are the top 5 backs in the National Football League. When they signed, they got the most guaranteed money. So guaranteed money at signing. Christian McCaffrey comes in at number 1 at $30 million. Derrick Henry, $25.5. Bijan Robinson, a rookie, is 3rd in the NFL and guaranteed money at signing at $22.8 million, which tells me, and it should tell you, there's not a lot of teams in the NFL that want to shell out a lot of guaranteed money to running backs. Alvin Kamara comes in at 3rd at 21.9, and Nick Chubb comes in at 17.1. If I had to bet, which if I were a betting man, which I am, I would bet that Saquon Barkley wants to be in between or above Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry. I think $27 million guaranteed, maybe even 25.6, just right above Derrick Henry, could get the deal done for Saquon and the Giants. It's going to come down to guaranteed money. How much of it is Joe Shane going to be willing to shell out? We're going to find out as we are less than 2 weeks away from the franchise extension deadline. What is going to happen with number 26, the former number 2 pick out of Penn State, the running back for the New York Giants, or as Herm Edwards, a.k.a. Sherm Edwards, because I will talk about this later in the week. Herm Edwards absolutely hated on the Giants on ESPN, and his now name, in my opinion, is Sherm Edwards, because you might know why. What are the Giants going to do, though? Or what is going to happen with Barkley? That's the way I want to phrase this question. What is going to happen? Predict it. Is he going to play on the franchise tag, or is he going to get an extension? Type F for franchise tag or E for extension. Leonard Williams, will the Giants trade him? We'll break it down in just a quick second. But first, I want you guys to take advantage of this awesome deal that's been going on for about a week or so, and I know it's not going to last forever. You can get a Giants hat and a Giants t-shirt for less than $24. $24. You can get a Giants hat and a Giants t-shirt. Take advantage of the deal. Go to chatsports.com/Giants hat combo. The deal won't be here probably next week. So if you want some gear for the upcoming season, you want to rep the squad as we go on to win the Super Bowl this year, go to chatsports.com/Giants hat combo. All righty, let's do it. Bleacher Report listed Leonard Williams, the interior defensive lineman for the Giants, big number 99, as a trade candidate for the Giants heading into training camp. And when I first saw this, I was like, I can get why you said that. I don't want to trade Leonard Williams. I'm not going to even wait to tell you guys that I don't want to. I don't want to. But I see why Bleacher Report and maybe some people watching this video could think that that could be a likely or solid outcome that the Giants could pursue. This is what Bleacher Report said in full. They said, while Williams is still a very impactful player, he'll turn 30 years old next offseason and saw his pass rushing production dip in 2022 from 6.5 sacks to 2.5. Williams is also scheduled to be a free agent in 2024, meaning the Giants could possibly lose him for nothing more than a compensatory pick next season. Williams is also expensive, set to carry a cap hit of $32.3 million in 2023. While trading him would trigger a dead cap charge of $2.2 million, it would also save $18 million off the 2023 salary. The cap hit for Leonard Williams is absolutely ridiculous. And we have talked about it time and time again on this channel that $32.3 million has really hindered the Giants from being able to make other moves. And it's not Leonard Williams' fault. It's not Joe Schoen's fault. It's your fault, Dave Gettleman. So, Dave Gettleman, thank you once again for not only being the worst general manager in the NFL while you were here, but also leaving Joe Schoen in an absolute terrible spot, and for him to clean up the mess that you left inside the building in East Rutherford. It's a joke. Dave Gettleman, I can't believe you were this bad of a general manager. Like Bleacher Report said, if the Giants do trade Leonard Williams, they could save $18 million on the salary cap. Also, if a team that is trading for Leonard Williams, his cap hit on their team would be $18 million. Why do the Giants need $18 million? I mean, the only reason you're going to trade Leonard Williams is to end up signing someone else. So if you think there's someone else right now out there that's more of an impact player than Williams and could be a better player than number 99 for the Giants this year, then sure, you go out and do it. But the thing is, it's July. There ain't anybody else better in NFL free agency right now, better than the big cat. Giants, they need Leonard Williams to bounce back this year. He had a pretty disappointing season this past year for the Giants. Played in just 12 games, and he had just 2.5 sacks this past year. These are his prior 4 seasons, but this past year for the Giants, 2.5 sacks. He had 45 tackles and just 12 QB hits. Even in 2021, he did have 6.5 sacks. If he can get back to that number, that would be a good year for Leonard Williams. But I'm looking for Williams to have that type of impact that he did in 2020 when he ended up getting paid and he ended up securing one of the biggest bags in NFL history for a defensive lineman. If the Giants can get the 2020 production from Leonard Williams, they could be the best defense in the National Football League because you have Leonard Williams, but you also have Dexter Lawrence, and we know how good Dexter Lawrence is. He's the best nose tackle in the NFL, and he's only going to continue to get better and better. We love Kayvon Thibodeau, and we love Azeez Ojulari. Injuries and health could hold this team back, but if Leonard Williams has another lackluster productive season like he did last year, I know he had some neck and back injuries, but if he could be healthy, he could be productive, and he could take advantage of winning against single-team blocks as Dexter Lawrence is going to take up 2 guys, this defense could be special, and that's why I'm calling Leonard Williams an X factor for the New York Giants this season. He doesn't have to be the best player on this D-line anymore. He really doesn't even have to be the second best player on this D-line anymore. Just be productive. Be a guy like you've been in the NFL your entire career outside of last season. Be the guy that gets after the quarterback, creates havoc, and gets after the QB, get a couple of strip sacks, get some sacks, make some plays behind the line of scrimmage, and make the Giants' defensive line one of the most feared position groups in the NFL. He does that, the Giants can win the NFC East. I truly believe that. What should the Giants do, though? Bleacher Report thinks the Giants should trade Leonard Williams. What do you think? Type T for trade, or if you want to keep the big cat in New York, type K for keep. Remember, guys, you can follow me over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. We are just around the corner from NFL preseason. Training camp's a couple of weeks away. Coverage on this channel is going to heat up, and I want to talk to you guys some more, even when we're not doing videos. So hit me up on Twitter and give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_.